One of the all-time great singing stars here in America. As a matter of fact, he's a singing star all over the world. He's got as great as credits in Australia and England as he does here in the United States. He is one of the best, one of the most famous, Mr. Johnnie Ray. Hi, Johnny.
My pleasure. Good to be here.
You just closed the Tropicana.
Uh-huh.
Did you have a successful run?
Yes, very successful. Enjoyed it very much.
Johnny, do you see many of your friends here in Las Vegas?
Strangely enough, I do. A lot of people I first worked with when I first came here in Las Vegas in 1954. Well, the first time I came here, I played the Desert Inn, and a lot of the kids that were in the show then, like Jimmy Barron, who was a dancer in the shows now at the MGM Grand, and we went over and just saw their show last night, and we all got together, and the gal who is the had the lead dancer, you know, the
principal.
Mm-hmm. She was with the show we first came here, and
wow.
There's a lot of friends I have that are living here now.
Yeah.
And I've often thought myself that because I live in West Hollywood in the hills,
mm-hmm.
and I really don't like Los Angeles.
Well, move to Las Vegas, Johnny.
It's occurred to me more than once. It really has. So I see the lifestyle that people have up here. I get envy that sort of a little bit.
Well, you know, Johnny, I don't know myself offhand, but there's a lot of singing stars, television stars, you know, motion picture stars. You know, Joan Rivers is here, and I mean, the list goes on and on. Shecky Green.
I know when Toadie was alive, she lived here.
She lived here, right. So there's a lot of people.
And I guess Lee still manages, keeps a residence here, doesn't he?
Right, and he just built a fabulous new restaurant.
Yeah, well, I didn't get a chance to visit that yet. But I think what all we can do is wait until Lee's in town, so he can take me and we can do it right.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't been to the museum either.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to do anything except the shows.
Just the shows, yeah. Well, you must have seen more changes in Las Vegas take place than anybody. You were here as a major star at the Desert Inn. Your name was at the very top of all the marquees. What have you seen? What has happened to Las Vegas from your viewpoint?
Well, I can put it to you very briefly, because when I first came to Las Vegas, the airport was nothing at all resembles what is there now.
Yeah.
But when we came into town, the Strip consisted of the Tropicana, which at that time was considered in the country.
Mm-hmm. I
and
know.
it was considered way beyond even going there. If you were coming to Las Vegas to stay at the Tropicana, that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go anyplace else.
It was too far away.
Too far away.
Yeah.
And the next thing down the road a piece was the Sands had been built.
Mm-hmm.
And then the desert, then the old Frontier across the street, which they tore down, and then they built a new Frontier. And then, of course, the Desert Inn was across the street. And then down further, the next hotel down was...
must have been like the Dunes or...
no, the Dunes hadn't been opened.
They weren't open at all?
I opened the Dunes.
You did, really?
The Dunes had not been built yet.
Hmm.
Neither had the Riviera. And what was the Thunderbird, which is now the
El Rancho,
wasn't there.
Hmm.
Then the next thing was the Sahara Hotel, and then across the street the El Rancho, which eventually burned.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they haven't rebuilt the El Rancho, because I don't know if Bell and Cattleman still owns the property or not. But
I don't know.
that at one time was a lot of fun place to go. And of course, we all miss Hank Henry and the
Right.
Silver Slipper.
Yeah.
Although I've seen the Burlesque show there, and I think it's very funny.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a very clever show. But I can remember when the Silver Slipper had Hank Henry in the review and Sparky and all those people.
Yeah.
And you'd have people like, you have all the stars on the Strip after the show, after the late show would go in. We all went in to get insulted. Or
With Rickles?
and I can remember the ringside, every star in town would end up at the Silver Slipper.
Wow.
And we all ended up having breakfast there and things. So that I've seen the time. I went to see the MGM show last night. And
Incredible, isn't it?
well, I'd never seen anything like that in my entire life.
It's like on another planet, you know, kaboom, you know, big.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how you can describe that
Yeah.
show.
You know, Johnny, I heard on the radio.
The only big disappointment I've had is that our nights off were Mondays.
Oh.
And that was Siegfried and Roy. And there's one show I wanted to see at Siegfried and Roy.
And they're off Monday night? Oh, well, we'll fix it up next time, Johnny. when
Next
you're
time I come to town, I want to see Siegfried and Roy. That's the last thing I do.
All right. I'm sure they'll appreciate hearing that. I happened to catch on radio your interview with Skitch Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
That was the most professional job he did with you of any entertainer. I mean, if they all should be that way. But while I'm listening to this interview, I hadn't realized the many hit songs. It was like over. I mean, it was an hour show, right?
Yeah.
That show. And for an hour, it was all your tunes, and they were just playing little vignettes, you know, segments of your tunes, just a couple of minutes apiece. But it went on and on, Johnny. I didn't realize there were that many over the period of years.
Well, it causes a little problem when I'm doing a concert performance because people will yell out for records that were popular X amount of years ago, but have not been in a performance since the day of their popularity. But then now people are beginning to remember, and they're starting to yell out for them. And in the last year, I've had to put some of Please Mr. Sun.
Yeah, great song.
Well, that sold over about 5 million records originally, and I did it for about 10 years in the act. And I thought, well, I think maybe we can ease that out and bring in some newer songs. And then all of a sudden, when we were here at the Dunes about 5 months ago, when it was then the top of the Dunes, all of a sudden, one night in the back of the room, somebody screamed out, "Please, Mr. Sun." And so I told my conductor, Jerry Blaine, I said, "Jerry, we have a problem here." And between shows, we had the musicians, one of the musicians, I forget his name, and I'm sorry, I should remember, whip up an arrangement of Please Mr. Sun. And put it now, it has been rescored now, and it's back in the act to stay.
Yeah. Well, you know, Johnny, your songs, I know a lot of the information I got from Skitch Henderson. Not only have you been a tremendous star in the United States, but other parts of the world, and I hadn't realized that as well. As a matter of fact, a couple of your big tunes were popular in other countries, not even in the United States.
That's right. Well, I'm going through a period right now where a lot of people are not quite sure I'm still active in the show business, and that's because we spend so much, and I say I'm in my entourage, my conductor, road manager, etc. We spend so much time running around the world in different countries. Now, I've had to cancel England and Australia and New Zealand and South Africa just this year to stay home because I can't afford to stay out of sight too long because people, it's not that people are fickle, it's just people are, especially Americans who are probably the most over-entertained people on the face of the earth. I'm guilty of the same thing because I sit, when I was at the Tropicana, I'd be sitting home watching Channel 5 and watching the shows.
Yeah.
And if you're not watching television, you're out swimming, or else you're out doing 50 different things.
Yeah,
and in other countries, you don't have that kind of opportunity. And now we have things like home box office, and in Los Angeles, I get about 32 channels, 24 hours a day. So people have other things to do, and they have a tendency to forget unless they can see you and keep you there constantly.
Well, there's also one thing about it, Johnny, not taking anything away from television, but there's nothing like seeing a live performance. There's nothing that can take that away. The Beach Boys, as you know, were here recently, and they had a packed crowd. Television is great and everything else, but to see somebody like yourself in person is a very special treat. And
well, I think you have to treat Las Vegas. I think you have to give from a performance standpoint, I think you have to give them a kind of a fairer shake than a lot of agents and managers have been doing, because I think too many entertainers have been demanding too much money.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course that is passed right on to the customers.
Yeah.
And the economy isn't that great.
I know.
And that other town on the East Coast that we won't mention hasn't helped too much either.
I know.
And I think that people are going to have to be a little more realistic about their demands in hotels, so we can get Las Vegas back to where it was the glittering showcase that it was, because it's still the entertainment capital of the world, but it's sort of eased off there, and I think it's up to performers like myself and my peers and that sort of stuff to sort of get our heads screwed on right and face reality the way it is, especially the economy being the way it is.
Well, it's very nice to hear you say that, Johnny, because I couldn't agree with you more. I think a lot of the entertainers have priced themselves out of a range of, you know, I mean, I know hundreds of thousands of dollars go to them every week, but there is a point where it becomes unrealistic.
Well, my whole point there is just simple mathematics. At the end of the year, just how much money can you make? Because none of us were born before taxes.
I know.
And there's just so amount of tax shelters that you can have and legally sleep nights.
I understand. Johnny, I'll look forward to seeing you again when you return to Las Vegas. I thank you very much for taking time to stop by Channel 5. I know this was a special trip for you to make. I appreciate it very much, and also the very nice things you had to say about Channel 5 and Mr. Johnny Carson. That's very nice of you.
Oh, you're a sweet man, and you're a pretty nice guy yourself for asking me to come out.
Thanks,
I appreciate it an awful lot.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Johnny. And we'll be right back after this word.